stop this playlist now. Work. So over the last few months, I've been working on overhauling my entire portfolio website. Not only the website itself, but also updating and creating a lot of projects for that. And I have finished quite a few so far. I have, for example, a VTuber project, I have various visual development projects, I have the creation process for an illustrated interview, and I have some other things planned, but these are the projects I wanted to focus on first. But another thing I really want in my portfolio are book covers. And something else I realized over the course of my studies is that I just really love the mystery genre. And not only is the dame herself, Agatha Christie, my most favorite whodunit author, but Murder on the Orient Express is by far my favorite of her works that I have read so far. And I really want to see my own interpretation of a cover for this book, so that's what I'm gonna do. And right at the beginning of this project, I hit a blessing and a curse for this project, and that's that I was very sick for like a week, roughly. And that was a blessing and a curse because I used that time to reread the novel and take notes on everything. But also I rewatched / watched the 3 big adaptations of the book. So the one from 1974, the 2010 version from the Agatha Christie's Poirot series, as well as the 2017 version for that. Mainly to find references and inspiration and just get myself into the mindset. Also, that was very interesting to see all of these adaptations back to back and like see the differences and realize what I liked and didn't like about each of them. So that's also something that brought more clarity into my brain as to what I like about the book. So while I was reading the book, I took a lot of notes. I read it in a PDF format, so I scribbled on the side and like took notes and everything. And some of the thumbnail ideas already originated from that. And then I also collected lots of references and notes and everything in PRF, which is a program I absolutely love, by the way. And on this mood board, not only do I have visual references, but also I took notes on like important places and objects and everything. And also one section is dedicated to what Hercule Poirot is described at in the books, which there was an amazing article I found online, which I'm going to link down in the description, which really helped me. And a fun fact about one of the sections, I collected photos for the actors that played Poirot, and I also put in Horst Lichter, which, unless you're German, you don't know him, and there are probably a lot of Germans who don't know him either. But if you know him, by the way, that's my Poirot. Like, looks-wise, but like especially personality-wise, I just love this man. That's just a little fun fact. Okay, so I just finished the thumbnailing process. Technically, I did like 9 thumbnail ideas, but as you can see, there are clear favorites. And I am going to go through them real quick. I'm going to tell you right now, I have not decided which one I will be going with so far. So this was my first idea. I was and am very happy about this idea because I do like the aspect of like the mystery of it all. So you have the murder happening, so it's kind of a spoiler that the murder is going to happen like at night with a knife, someone stabbing someone laying down, that kind of stuff. But then again, it's also not really a spoiler, as in like you don't see who they are. Like, this is just a sketch, but even in the finished version, I'm only gonna have them as silhouettes. So that's my idea for this one. And I'm very excited because like technically this is like, I guess you could say a lot of empty space with like the snow down here and like the sky up here and everything. But I do want to play a lot with gradients and textures, especially in like the train. And I don't know, I just really like this dramatic perspective, similar to the one down here. Like, it's the same scene, basically, but, like, here it's, like, all drama. It's, like, the murder. It's, like, dark. And then here it's before the murder happens, when, like I said, the train is still going. You do have, like, I don't know, like,
I don't know if it comes across in the thumbnail yet, but like I feel in my mind like this has a more cozy vibe, which the whodunits, like the Agatha Christie books especially, like they're the like a cozy murder mystery kind of thing, so I feel like the vibe does fit pretty well, but I have to see which one I prefer in the end. Then the third one, I have to admit, I really like this thumbnail way more than I thought I would when I started this, especially like this part. I don't know, it feels very visually pleasing to me. But at the same time, I mean, again, you have even more of a spoiler because like you do see the corpse and everything. But I mean, someone is dying. The book is called Murder on the Orient Express. Someone is dying. So I guess this is like, yes, it's a spoiler, but it's fine. I don't know, like I feel like with mystery, it's very hard to entice the readers enough to like pick the book up and everything, but not spoil too much. That's actually one of the big criticisms I have of the movie. It was the adaptation from 74, where they literally opened the movie with the backstory, so to say. So I'm trying not to do that with the covers, and I feel like this might get into that territory, but at the same time, not really. And I do really like this idea, but at the same time, I feel like this is less of a cover and more of like an like book illustration. Like instead of like having the blurb here, you just have like the actual page written down of like, hey, the murder just happened, like that situation. So I have to think about if that's something that would bother me. This one feels like more of a, I guess it's a basic idea, but I still really like it. Like this one where Poirot is looking out of the window and like you don't see something, which is again a reference to something in the book that I really like. So it's again this is a book cover, but if you've read the book, you know things, you know, like that's the kind of stuff I love doing. But if you just look at the picture, you don't get spoiled right away. You know, I hope you know. And I kind of really like this kind of composition where it's just like everything straight in the middle and like, I don't know, I just really love it. And I want to put Poirot on the cover. Like, I think, for me personally, Poirot is the big reason why I love Agatha Christie's books. I think I've read like one, maybe two, where Poirot wasn't a character. I've also seen the Mousetrap play, and he wasn't in there as well. So I also like her stories without Poirot, but I love Poirot. I think he's a big reason, especially in this book. He is a big reason why I love this book so much, and the plot developments because of him and everything. So I really want him on the cover, which I would have here, like the back cover. But at the same time, like I really like this idea. I also really like the one down here, so we will see. I'm gonna go with one of these four that I did values for, but man, I'm really not sure which one yet. But yeah, I assume the day after tomorrow I'll just sit down and I'm like, yeah, actually I'm super in the mood for that, because like right now, every single one of them, I could see myself picking them. So, yeah. I'm curious to see what happens.
So I ended up combining thumbnail A and B to go with a more mysterious, darker version of the motif. Once that was done, I created 6 color key thumbnails, and the 2 in the middle became my favorites. In the end, I chose the green one because it felt more fitting for the scene and more in line with what people would expect of a murder mystery cover. The red/pink one would have been a very good choice too, especially for the other version of the thumbnail, where I'd go for more of a cozy vibe, in reference to Agatha Christie's novels being cozy whodunits, as well as the fact that back in her days there would be this whole A Christie for Christmas thing, where people would read the new Agatha Christie novel while waiting for Christmas Eve. But since that's not really a thing anymore, and the scene I decided to portray is not cozy at all, I went with the green one. The green/orange theme isn't a traditional choice of color for a crime-themed novel as far as I know, or snow scenes at all, to be honest, but at the same time, I do think it really works. So the color scheme I went with is traditional enough that people would associate the dark colors with a mystery and crime genre, but it's atypical enough that it would still stand out in a bookstore. But honestly, I do like all the color schemes. I tried and pretty much all of them would have worked, so maybe I'll reuse them for some other projects in the future. I also had lots of fun with the textures in the windows and glossed edges of the silhouettes. Here, those aspects are important elements of the piece, but I want to incorporate elements of what I've learned into my more quote-unquote conventional pieces as well in the future. This way of introducing texture and lost edges feels like something that can really bring my future pieces further ahead. And I'm very excited to find ways to incorporate what I've learned during this piece into the new ones going forward. And a little fun fact about my working process. I do most of this between a meeting and the official start of my actual work shift at my day job, which, funny enough, helped me to focus more than I thought it would. But I did go back many times before and after that to double check and change aspects or try an alternative approach. Honestly speaking, a lot of the rendering process was trial and error because I went with a more graphic and shape-based approach than in my usual illustrations. Usually, I render the characters first as the focal point and work from there, but since the characters here are simple silhouettes and the bodies of texts need a considerable amount of space, I was a little unsure about how much rendering I should bring into the background outside of the train, especially the snow parts. Which is why I put the text into the illustration pretty early, even though I will be doing the final texts in a different program that has more professional options for typesetting. But the illustration part of this is done and I am very happy with it. Honestly speaking, I already have the next book cover idea I'd want to do, but for now I need to finish up the website itself, so that I can properly display my works and hunt for jobs. So the picture of Dorian Gray will have to wait for its own cover design made by me, but I will get to it, I swear. But yeah, I hope this video gave you an interesting insight into my designing process, and let me know what you think about the piece. Would you pick this up if you saw it in a bookstore? Would you have chosen a different thumbnail or a different color palette? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, and I hope I'll see you again in the next video. But for now, bye bye!